Now, when it comes to fanfare, I think Capcom can learn a ton of things from SNK. Let's get to it. But before I get started, I gotta give a shout out to another fellow YouTuber named DarkSynth. He's so close to 5,000 followers, and if you're a fighting game fan, go over check out his page, give him a like and a follow. He makes tons of guides across so many different fighting games, so it will definitely help you level up across a wide variety of games. If you like his type of content, go check it out. Get him to 5,000. Alright, so for this video, this is a disclaimer so no one rips me a new one in the comment section. This is not to say City of the Wolves is better than Street Fighter 6. These are both amazing games, and if you like fighting games, you're gonna love them both. This video is mostly how Capcom just seems to miss the mark when it comes to, fanfare, making their fans feel good about things. And I want to show how SNK hits that mark with flying colors and some of these things coming up. Alright, so the first two tips is all going to be about how to make players feel good or just showing player expression overall. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to ignore how ass this landing page is. I don't know what they were thinking, but let's go over to the jukebox. I know people have talked about this a million times, but the fact that there was no jukebox right out of the gate for Street Fighter 6 was terrible. And even now, yes, we have songs we can pay for. There are tons of games that are missing. If I wanted to go to the Garu playlist, look at all the Garu songs you can pick from. Every single thing is there. And Capcom has such an amazing catalog. They can put in Power Stone music, Project Justice music, Mega Man X, you name it. They have it. And we'd be happy to pay for it. But where is it? I know it's going to come down the road, but this is such an easy win to implement right away. I really don't know why Capcom, makes this stuff hard for themselves. Capcom, if you're listening, please improve your jukebox. You're sitting on a gold mine. And then that leads me into my second point, which is all about player expression. So we're just going to hit left and go into color edit. And I know this is not a new feature. This has been in games for ages. But it goes such a long way to be able to go in, customize your character the way you want. If I want Rock to look like Dante from Devil May Cry, I can make it happen. If I want Terry to look like Ash Ketchum, someone has made that happen. But the point that I bring up here is, in Street Fighter 6, we're dying for new colors and costumes. And the fact that they hide colors behind either microtransactions or some obtuse ways to unlock them, I don't really think that helps them in any cause for player expression. And I honestly think if Capcom actually had something where you can change the color palettes of characters, people wouldn't be as upset that there's no costume 4 or 5 or anything like that right now, because at least they do have some control over how they want their character to look like. So Capcom, if you're watching this, let us express ourselves a little bit more in your fighting games. We love them. The next thing is all about roster creation, and let's be real, both of these games at the end of their life cycle are going to have insane rosters. But I just love how SNK really pays tribute to some of their iconic characters. Like, look at the cover of City of the Wolves, you have two great characters, Rock and Terry. And then for the cover of Street Fighter 6, you have Luke. Not to say Luke is a bad character, but man, is he really selling the game to its full potential? Like, would this game sell worse if you had Ryu and Ken on the cover? And then when you actually go into the roster, yes, Street Fighter 6 included the World Warriors, but I think they missed the mark about adding a lot of the older characters that lots of people like. And we know a lot of these characters are going to come in DLC, but maybe they won't. And SNK has already been on record to say that this game is pretty much going to have every SNK character that you loved in the Fatal Fury franchise. But if you look at the base roster of Street Fighter 6, there is no Third Strike character, there's no Street Fighter Alpha character. I think only Jury was the only Street Fighter 4 character. I'm not saying you need 10 characters from every single game, but how much better would this base roster have been if you added a Makoto, a Sakura again, and take out someone like Lily? Like, would you really be missing that much? But you'd make the roster 10 times more hype. This is why I think Capcom really needs to go back and find some of the fan favorite characters and bring them back. There's a reason we love them so much. And then the last thing, I totally get it's the most nitpicky one, but do Street Fighter 6's base stages really do anything for anybody? I'm not saying they're bad, like they look good and whatever, but there's not really any like fanfare in any of the stages. I mean, in one of the stages you get some Final Fight characters, so that's kind of cool, but every other stage is, just kind of basic if you think about it. I would say that the one stage that has the most characters is actually the DLC SNK stage when Terry got released. And this is going to sound really weird, but when you look at the stages in City of the Wolves, they actually feel like SNK stages. And I know to a lot of people that's not going to make a lot of sense because maybe you haven't played SNK games, but you have, reimagining of Terry stages, you have remakes of other character stages, You have stages that look like they're just ripped out of other SNK games and just refined. And to me, that goes a long way for fanfare. But when you look at Street Fighter 6 stages, they don't really look like they belong in any Street Fighter game, if you ask me personally. But like I said, stages is definitely the weakest point I have in this video. So if you have to rip me a new one, I totally get it. Bring it on. And that's my video. I hope you liked it. Sometimes I just want to talk about the nerdy things in games. It doesn't always have to be in-depth or guides or anything like that. But believe me, there's lots more of those coming. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.